छाँव में तेरी बीती नहीं हो गर्मी की बातें, बाहों में तेरी गुजरी ही नहीं हो सर्दी की रातें। आदत है, ओ, आदत है, आदत है, ओ, आदत है।
This market is 1.4 billion people.
India, with a direct selling market of $3.2 billion, the fifth largest economy and the fastest growing one. It has a population where nearly 65% are younger than 35, and it is the world's second largest English-speaking country, with local communities all around the globe. Think globally, build locally.
Very good evening, friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Varun, and I am from Singapore. I'm your host and MC this evening. I'm sure you're curious to know what is the India opportunity all about and how to get started so that you have a gateway to build your income in one of the most attractive international market we know today. That's right, India. Now, as one of the world's fastest growing economies, India offers a dynamic landscape for investment, business expansion, and of course, collaboration. With the official market opening in just a few months, it's time to gather pace, momentum, and have a strategy. ST has proven track record of new market launches and are extremely fortunate to the support we have and can truly leverage to ensure our success. Tonight, we have a tech sales professional turned wellness entrepreneur who has a resilient mindset and passion to drive a team to reach the pinnacle of success. Let's welcome Preeti Kumar to share with us this evening on how to truly benefit from this golden opportunity. Preeti, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Varun, and for sharing a little bit about the India opportunity. I think, welcome to everyone. Thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with me. So just a little bit about myself. Let me get started. My name is Preeti, and I think, for me, it all started through a set of the 90-day program. After gaining a little bit of weight, I was recommended, by my angel, Charlene. She was like, why not just try the 90-day program? And she mentioned to me, a couple of years back now, that the India market opportunity was, expanding at that time. New Skin was opening in India. And at that time, I was already super, super excited about this opportunity because to me, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So the way I looked at it was basically very simple. I recognized the opportunity. And, even though at that time, I may not have necessarily had the skill sets or I may not have necessarily known how to do it like many of you on the call today, but I saw that it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I looked at it and I said, you know what, if I was 8 years old or I was 80 years old, I wouldn't have the chance to embark on this kind of opportunity. So, I looked at it and I was like, I couldn't wait for the opportunity for India to open, and right now we have opened. Just looking at how India is growing, so you may want to know, like, what's their GDP like, what's their economy like. Let's discuss about that in the next slide. So basically, the India economy is really growing. If you look at it, it's got one of the fastest growth rates. So that was what I saw as well. The two tech companies I actually work for, both of them I saw were heavily investing into India. And that's why I saw that opportunity. But because they were investing in India, I knew as an employee, I wouldn't be able to take advantage of that opportunity. But over here, I can definitely be involved in that kind of opportunity, and I can be directly helping the local Indians. So, being the fastest growing economy in the world, and the last time we had an opportunity like that was China, but maybe at that time I didn't have that access. But today I do have that access to India. And of course, we know that India is filled with 1.4 billion people. Of course, thanks to the no birth control policy. I mean, even if we have 0.01% of that population, it's still a large number of people. And of course, they have also superseded China as the largest population in the world. And if you go and search the history of how well Nu Skin has done in China, we know that the history is going to repeat itself with India. So let's talk a little bit about the statistics of the Indian population. I think, when we were there in November for the launch, we saw a lot of very young people. About 65% of the population are 35 years old and below. And you might be thinking, how is this relevant? But when you have a very young population, that all of them are actually very tech savvy. They are looking for opportunity. They are very hungry. There's definitely a huge potential if you compare it to an aging population. So, them being digitally savvy, them being very much into wellness, especially after COVID. I think where you have 910 millennials and Gen Z and 440 million millennials, that them searching the network, the internet, using social media, half the time you do see, Indian people exercising, talking about food, coming up with, vegetarian-based protein recipes, that's constantly popping up on my feed. I know that this Nu Skin opportunity is huge, because everyone is talking about health and wellness. I think also talking about the middle class and the rising middle class in India, about 300 to 350 million people. Why is this an important statistic? Because we know when you're talking about the middle class rising, people have already fulfilled their basic needs and they are looking to afford and spend on better quality things. So they will want to spend on their beauty, they will want to spend on supplements, they will want to, look at the next step for health. So that means, the growing economy causes them to be able to spend more because the economy is more stable. And what's more exciting is that the middle class is set to double in the next 20 years. So just looking at that, 350 million to 700 million, I mean, looking just at the total population of Singapore and Malaysia, that's just a fraction of what we see in India. And we have so many success stories, from Singapore and Malaysia doing the Nu Skin business. So just imagine the possibility when you're talking about 350 million or 700 million. So of course, when the population of the middle class doubles, it also means that more people are willing to spend. The country becomes more stable, more affluent, and more growth. And that's exactly what I saw even when I went on a family holiday to India last month. I saw that people want to spend on holidays, people want to spend on skincare, people want to spend on all of these things. And that's where you can even see in the malls, not just in the first tier cities in India, but in the second and third tier cities in India, they are carrying all the brands because of the appetite for people to spend. So let's discuss now about the income. Let's do a comparison versus India versus China, how, what it was, or what it is currently. The India middle class income is about 7K to 22K annually, and China's income is about 15K to 74K. And of course, we know that the median income in India is only going to grow with more businesses coming up, with more franchises going in, with a company like Nu Skin going in. That it's going to supersede China's median income. And what does this mean? This means that the Indian economy will have more willingness to spend, right? And I think, the difference between now and then with the Indian economy is the fact that out of 1.4 billion users, 1.2 billion people are actually internet users. And I think this is beneficial to us and to them, where 88% of them have access to mobile devices, and we have 470 million social media users. So when you go and see the influencers, I think in India, if you go and search for some of them, if you look at their profiles, you will see easily they have few million followers. So just imagine, if one person influential or if one person, young person gets on social media and talks about, how well they benefited from the Nu Skin products, just imagine, what kind of opportunity you will have, in India. And I want to talk about the direct sales market currently in India. Currently, it's about $3.2 billion, and it's just, 12 million distributors currently, and with a growth rate of 13.3%. I mean, just looking at this, if you look at the proportion of people, this is a very, very small number, in comparison to the to the number of people that is in the population. So just look at this as, we have a great chance to go and share with many Indians out there about this wonderful gift, about how we can help the Indian population to improve their health, improve their beauty, and of course, give them an opportunity of a lifetime, since we have all personally benefited from this opportunity. So you may ask, what is so impressive about this business model? If you've joined this call, you may be skeptical. What would you think, is three key points of the business model? Look at it, there's really no risk because all of the risk is being transferred to New Skin, right? All of the risk, there's really no risk. For you, all you need to do is make sure that you use the products very well. You become the best testimonial for yourself, and you literally just open your mouth and share all of the marketing, the supply chain, the hiring, the commission payouts. All of that is handled by the New Skin team, in India or across the world, wherever you do the business. And of course, the opportunity for unlimited income potential. I think when I was working in a tech company, I realized that, after a while, your income actually has a cap as an employee. Even as a self-employed, you may be facing this, you may be thinking about this, because if you wanted to open another business in another country, the amount of investment that's required is quite significant. So I think having that unlimited income potential, because you are just able to share with different people in the world and so-called open human franchises, I think this is where this business becomes very exciting for a lot of us, because where you go on a plane, where you meet someone in a restaurant, where you speak to your neighbor, anywhere and everywhere you go, you can potentially share this business opportunity, because anyone and everyone around you can benefit from this opportunity. And of course, the last thing about the long-term and sustainable income. I think when you have enough people that you've shared with, around the world or in India, which obviously just has 1.4 billion people, is more than enough people to share this business opportunity. And of course, if people see the same opportunity, they will also continue to share with other people around them. And that's where you get a long-term and sustainable income source. And looking at the world today, a lot of jobs, a lot of businesses have a lot of uncertainty ahead of them. So I think that's the beauty of this business. And of course, they are in the industry of health, beauty, and wellness. And you know that these three businesses will not die, especially with health becoming a forefront for a lot of people. These are businesses that are growing. So this to me is how, is why the New Skin business model is so exciting and so amazing, because we know that we will always be number one or at the top of people's minds. So now, you may say, okay, are there people that have success stories? We have quite a few proven entrepreneurs, and I want to speak about them. There are three different success stories that I want to share about. First, Betty Sang, I think she was the first Asian person who started the New Skin business out of the US. And she saw this as a huge opportunity because Asians at that point were not taking advantage of the opportunity. Of course, if you see COE4, what that means is that they've accumulated $20 million in the business. And of course, they continue to accumulate income through this business. The next person is Kaneko-san. Basically, he saw the opportunity 1 year ahead of the Japan launch. So just like how we are today, while India has already launched pre-marketing, they haven't fully launched. So we are, somewhat in a similar position like Kaneko-san. And he saw the opportunity, 1 year ahead of Japanese launch, and he made his $20 million he accumulated through, just opening the Japanese market, looking for people who are interested in the business opportunity ahead of the market launch. And until today, I think he still has about 70% market share, and he's still collecting an income from the New Skin Japan business. We also have Ronnie Park, who is the first Korean to enter into the Korean market. And to me, this is the most impressive country, because despite having so many different products in health and beauty, the fact that, he can still accumulate $20 million says a lot about how powerful this business opportunity is. And I can tell you the three of them are still accumulating income until today. They've probably even passed it on to the second generation of people doing the business. And of course, the last fourth success story that we have is, our own Mr. Rain Ho. He's the founder of our Success Together agency, running the largest agency, in Singapore, Malaysia, all across Southeast Asia and Asia. And we have him, to mentor us directly in the business. He's also a $20 million earner, and we are really, really very fortunate to have him take the lead in the India market opportunity. And I think it's not every day that you get a mentor like this. I think if you're in corporate, you know that it's very hard to find good mentors who are already successful, wanting to impart all of their knowledge on you. And of course, if you're your own business, or self-employed, it's more like you are the person that has to do everything. It's very hard to get good mentors. So I think, looking at his income scheme, about how he worked, very hard in the first 2 years to make his first $1 million income in this business. And then you can see it exponentially grew, 5 million, 10 million, and then 20 million. And all of this is basically due to the company's long-term plan, launching new products and of course, new market expansions that he was able to take advantage of. And today we are at the forefront, being able to take advantage of another new market expansion. I don't think this opportunity will come every day where we have the largest market that we can take advantage of. Yeah, so seriously think about this opportunity here. If you're not as excited as me to go and share with people around you, please become very excited, because this is truly once in a lifetime. So looking at the India market opportunity, what is so special about it? I think the most important thing is everyone has access to this market. If you were to start another business, you might have to get permits, you might have to get, all different kinds of approvals before you can start. And maybe not everyone has access to that, but at least over here, you know that you have access to that, because you just have to be a good testimonial, take the product very well, and share with your friends. And I'm sure, if you look around you, especially if you're based in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, anywhere around the region, there are definitely a lot of Indians who have come there to work, who have started businesses, local Indians that you can definitely share this opportunity with, and they can also have access to this market. And I think the good thing here is that success can be duplicated. I mentioned earlier about human franchise. So it's more like, you get yourself familiar. There's a lot of tools, a lot of learning. And of course, the person who brought you here will definitely also be able to share with you. So that success can be easily duplicated, because we are in the business of sharing and helping people. And I've highlighted a few times that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Okay, so if you may be asking, so how do we go about doing it? What's the plan? So let's look at how it was done in China. So in China, there was a perfect 10 plan that, Rain actually thought about and shared. And today he has seen success through that. And many of the new skin leaders who started China also saw success. It all starts with just finding one person in China. If you can find one hungry person, like how they did in China, that one person then duplicates into 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, and it goes on, and everyone just has to find their own 10 to duplicate. Eventually, when you have 100,000 franchises, and looking at the worst case scenario of just 1%, 1,111 franchises helping you to grow your business, we are looking at an income of USD $166,000 a month. And just looking at this, if just this is worst case scenario, to me, the way I look at it, even if it takes me 10 years to build this business, I think this income is something that, you will not be able to achieve, maybe even in corporate, as a self-employed, or even in businesses, unless you have invested a lot of money. Whereas over here, all you do is invest in sharing, invest in your time and effort in sharing with people. So let's just look at this in India. If we duplicate, if we just find one committed builder in India, why not we can find 10, 100, 1,000, because the numbers are literally the same. We are talking about a 1 billion population there, where we can easily duplicate these number of people in India. So again, I repeat, assuming worst case scenario, we are talking about 100,000 US dollars a month. So to me, I feel that it is worth to put my time and effort in, if this is the outcome I'm going to get out of the Perfect 10 plan, or out of India's, economy. So let's talk about how, the direct sales segment is in India currently, what products are currently being sold, or what, percentage of population is actually into the wellness and beauty market. So if we look at it, about 74% of Indians are currently buying products in wellness, and 17% in beauty, and 9% in other. And guess what? The new skin opportunity will target about 91% of this segment, because we cover different products in the wellness and beauty space. So we actually can target 91% of Indians. So that gives us a huge opportunity, right? So let's talk a little bit about the Indian consumers and what New Skin has researched. I think, Indian consumers are increasingly want more premium products. And if I know anything about the Indian consumers, they love things from foreign countries, they love products from the US as well, prioritizing quality, efficacy, skin brightening, and this has helped India rank among, the top in global markets and personal care. So 74% of Indian consumers already believe that supplements are essential for their health. I think, when we were in Delhi, we experienced the bad pollution, that was there during that time. So, definitely we know that our supplements, made in India, once launched there, can definitely help, with their health, especially as they're experiencing such environmental factors as well. And of course, 63% of Indian consumers are trying to lose weight. Of course, the Indian diet, certain eating habits, they sometimes eat late and all of that. We know that a lot of them are struggling to lose weight. And that's why we see news, about GLP-1 drugs being available so easily. So the way I look at it, it gives us a big benefit because, our products are natural and it's definitely a huge opportunity. And of course, 69% of Indian consumers already take supplements for immune health alone. And we know that a lot of supplements out there, that there isn't that kind of quality control the way New Skin supplements have. Yeah, so let's look at our competitors. What our competitors have currently. So if you look at our direct competitor, direct sales in 2023, it was about $800 million in sales. And just comparing that, to Singapore, Malaysia, for example, we also have the same companies, in Singapore, but we are number one ahead of them by quite a large margin. So just imagine once it finally launches, once more of the products launch, just imagine what kind of revenue will New Skin be able to contribute, through the Indian economy. So it's just a matter of whether you want to be involved in that, you want to take advantage of that, or you want to be on the sidelines watching the people who brought you in here, recommended you, your friends, your family members see that success. So I highly urge you to think about it carefully and think about how you can get involved and benefit from this opportunity, right? So I think what I want to talk about some of the products. So let's start about our beauty devices. I think, we are known as the world's number one beauty and wellness device and system company. Lumi Spa has already launched in India. So if you have not already tried it, it's a 2-minute device. It's a facial device that I can't live without. You just use it on your skin. It makes you look younger. Your skin looks brighter. And I think, whether man or woman, anyone will want their skin to look brighter and cleaner. And with the pollution and environment that India is in, this is a huge opportunity for us to share this with as many people around us, and we can definitely see the difference and be testimonial sharers like what I shared. Benefit from the device first, share with our friends and family, and then we can obviously go from there to the Indian market. Secondly, nutritional supplements that are catered for the Indian market. We are talking about Life Pack Elements, Optimum Omega. These are things that will be catered for specifically in the Indian market, manufactured in India. Factories are in India, manufacturing facilities in Himachal Pradesh, headquarter in Mumbai. And the beauty of it being manufactured in India means it's priced according to the Indian market. New Skin has already done their research as to what the Indian diet is lacking. And these will definitely fulfill the nutritional needs of the Indians in India. So I don't know what else is there. We don't have to do anything on our side. Just understand the product, be a good testimonial, take the products, and then share with our friends and family around us. And what's even better is Prism, Prism, which is our wellness AI technology device, that's able to track, measure, and improve your nutritional health just in 15 seconds. Through our supplements, we can actually influence people, give them knowledge about how, our supplements can truly be tracked and measured and how your health can be improved. And, I think a lot of us, when we were in India and measuring people, we did notice that a lot of their scores were in the red and orange zone. So they were quite, low. And we definitely know that our supplements can, make a huge impact on the Indians in India and definitely improve their health. So, what better way than, sharing with them the goodness of our supplements so that they can also improve their health and in their lives. And I always say, right, what cannot be measured cannot be improved. So at least here we can measure and improve and help, truly help the Indians around us. And of course, we know that, basically weight is a huge problem that is I wouldn't say only in Indians in India, but in Indians all across the globe, because of their eating habits, because of, how late they eat sometimes. It's definitely a opportunity for us to help a lot of people reduce obesity and reduce obesity related diseases. And of course, we have the statistics to also share with us, how Indians are suffering with this. So I think India definitely needs to lose weight. We know that even Modi himself has come up with, many different programs to help, anti-obesity programs to help Indians. And as many of us have heard, obesity causes a lot of problems for many, many different people. And that's why we also have a lot of doctors, healthcare professionals doing this business with us, because they are able to solve the root cause of the problem through our new skin supplements and our 90-day program. So, definitely we have the opportunity to help a lot of people. We know that, we have the solution, we have the reason to help a lot of people. People are suffering, and now what do we need to do? We are actually in the business of helping people to solve their problems and connect needs. And it all starts with a program, a simple 90-day program, TR Me, right? Transformation starts in me. So I think, knowing that this is a number one in Malaysia, Singapore, number one in Malaysia for 9 consecutive years, number one in Singapore for 8 consecutive years, and what's more impressive is number one in South Korea for 3 years. I think if we can be number one in these 3 markets for so many years, what will be the potential when we enter India? We are definitely going to be number one, because we can help many people through our supplements, through a very non-invasive way, help them through a simple way to control their diet, improve their health. I'm sure we can do it again, as long as we start with ourselves and our friends and our family members, locally and globally around all of us, where the TRM is already available. Let's create more success stories, more testimonials, so that we can be the start and the example, once the product launches in India. So let's watch a video now on what, on TRME. I think just watching that video, what you will observe is that, 2 million lives globally, transformed globally. I think the beauty about New Skin is, if you saw in that video, it's actually a holistic program. It's not just like a miracle. We are truly able to help people with a holistic approach, in weight management. And also, I think, what I observed was that New Skin is actually always innovating with new products, whereas a lot of our competitors out there actually don't do that. So you see that, over the years, they've also improved the products, especially the latest version, incorporating, some of the most, interesting ingredients that are, available for Indians, most familiar ingredients that Indians are already familiar with. So I think this, ability to transform and obviously, always have new products in line, this gives me a lot of, hope when the New Skin products, all of the range finally launches in India, because we know that, they will definitely continue to innovate, and all we need to do is go around and share with people. So I want to highlight some testimonials that have already benefited, TRME testimonials, definitely benefited a lot of our friends in Malaysia and Singapore. We have Apu who's benefited, definitely he looks younger, his whole body has transformed, probably had to change all of his clothes and, reduce a lot of his obesity related diseases. Some of my close family and friends, my sister as well, truly benefited through this. Even Kuhan, who was a corporate professional I know, who's helping many people now in Malaysia transform their lives. He has definitely seen a wonderful transformation through the program. And last but not least, a personal childhood friend of mine, Ujala, who's seen, who's a mom of 4 kids, who's now, more active, recently at a family wedding, looks very good. So it's not just purely about losing weight, but it's also, about helping people regain their confidence, wearing all of the clothes they couldn't wear before. So it's not just a physical transformation, but it also helps so much with our mental health. So I've already talked about New Skin, I've talked about the business model, I've talked about the plan. Now I definitely want to talk about the support system. You may be asking, what kind of support do we have? to grow this business. And I mentioned, Rain being the founder of our agency earlier. So, we belong to a group called Success Together. Their system, they have a proven system that has already created about 150 millionaires across Asia. And it's one of the fastest growing teams in New Skin. And why do they have this kind of success? What is it that they have, that has this kind of success? It's very simple because they have a very simple model that allows you to be duplicated. It's a proven system that can duplicate success across different regions, different people. And I mentioned earlier about the human franchise. Basically, they have a university, a Success Together university program that has been established for people, for all of us to develop ourselves, to understand how to do this network marketing business. How can we duplicate ourselves such that one day when we stop working, we still get an income? So it starts off at step 1 at Business School for Entrepreneur 1, and then it goes for Business School for Entrepreneur 2, MVP 1, MVP 2, and MBA. And once you've completed the program at level 5, you've already made $1 million in commission, for yourself. So the beauty about this program, we have duplicated this, in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Australia, in China, and various parts of the world. And now we want to duplicate this in India. And I think the beauty of this program, after, being exposed to different MNCs, different, universities as well, I observed that, this program is really solid for you wanting to build the business, because it's actually people who have seen success in this business coming back to teach you how to do this business. When you go for courses outside, on your own, people who come and speak are mainly people who are consultants or have not even seen success themselves. But what I see over here is people who've already seen success in this business, hand-holding you on how to improve yourself and grow yourself and build teams. And I think this is something that's not available everywhere. So if you have not been exposed to any of these sessions, I highly encourage you to come and join us, and then you will understand how you can build your new skin business step by step globally and in India as well. So I think right now, what we want to focus on is, being the first, Indian, global Indian to build your business internationally, and then we can continue to build the business locally. So I think if you start by telling your friends in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, and of course the Indians in India, but I think if more of us, outside of India understand the business, understand the program, we can actually build an army of people, as the New Skin India business develops with more products launching, and we can then build our local Indian leaders, to be able to take the business forward and start up our step-by-step system as well. So I think, New Skin has been quite generous. We do have an Indian Founders Program where we can double our New Skin leading bonus during the qualified entry period, which is currently until they officially launch in India. So, I think the first step, towards starting is to start your transformational journey and be part of that global India's Indian wellness movement. It started by myself initially, it started with just a few of us, and it's slowly growing, into many, many more Indian leaders, we start by doing sessions locally, recognizing our Indian founders and our Indian leaders, who want to also be the founders. I think this is just in Singapore. We also have similar initiatives in Malaysia. And we see that, we want to start locally so that we can actually create our first generation India leaders. So how do you do that? You actually start by helping the people around you to get healthier. Start by helping your friends, your family members, spread the word so that they can spread with their relatives and their friends, all of their Indian neighbors, their Indian community all across the world, and eventually, of course, enter into India. Just looking at the global Indian community, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia alone has about 2 million Indians. We also know that US, UK, they also have a large presence, of Indians. So if you're worried, I don't know anyone in India. So think about the friends and family you have around you. Think about your schoolmates. Think about people that you went to school with. Go on social media and find all of these Indians. And if you don't know anyone in India, we can start by outreaching to a lot of the Indians around the world. And as you know, Indians have friends and family all over the world. Like I myself have so many friends and family all around the world, and you will definitely be able to connect each and every one of them through their families just by sharing the mission of wanting to help reduce obesity, share about the beauty devices, the beauty products, and of course, this wonderful opportunity. It's very simple these days, since we have global connectivity through WhatsApp, through Zoom, we have all of this available. So why not reach out, through Facebook, through your social media platforms, and help many people because we truly have the best solution. Our 90-day program is truly the best solution. If you have benefited, from the program itself, please share the goodness of this program with everyone around you. So let's start by building your community of consumers and partners today. I really hope that I've been able to share with you, a little bit about the current India market opportunity, and I hope that you will go on and spread this beautiful message, and this wonderful opportunity, wonderful once in a lifetime opportunity. Back to you, Varun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Preeti. Thank you very much. And most importantly, over here is I hope you all are as excited as Preeti and I are. And the question always goes, are you ready? Right? Because the good thing here is you don't have to be in India to get started. You start where you are today with a simple sharing mindset and start by building locally first, as Preeti mentioned. If you have any questions, ask the person who invited you today. Do stay tuned for updates and announcements. Good luck and good night.
ओ कुछ ऐसा